Generally, it comes with it as well. Good evening, everyone. Am I audible to all of you? Can you please confirm once in the chat? It took a minute or 2 minutes to go live. YouTube took more time. Am I audible? Yeah, thank you. I'm seeing some SS coming here. All right. Thank you for your confirmation. Let us wait for a minute and then we'll start the kickoff meeting. So let me share my screen and then we'll get started. Hope my screen is visible to all of you. Is my screen visible? Just confirm once. We'll get started with the presentation. All right, cool. Okay, thank you very much. So warm welcome to all of you for Webstack Academy's online internship in full stack web development. Today we are kickstarting a new cohort or new batch on 12th of August. My name is Jayakumar. I am part of WSA and Emertxe's leadership team. So this particular kickoff meeting is going to give you an idea about why we are doing this internship, what you'll be working as a part of this internship, what benefits you can get, and how you can seek support from our team in case you have any difficulties or challenges, etc. And as much as possible, I'll try to take some questions. Probably I'll stop in logical intervals and seek your questions. So I know sometimes in the YouTube live, it becomes challenging to answer all the questions because the questions run very fast. Let me try to answer as many questions as possible. Okay. With that now, let us get started. To introduce basically about us. Okay. So basically WSA or Webstack Academy is another brand from an organization called Emertxe. Emertxe is our parent organization or a parent brand name. So which we have started in the year 2004. So which means to say we have been in this education domain for the past 20 plus years. Okay. So that's when we started. And our focus then was to be in the embedded systems or more in the core domains, Internet of Things, embedded systems, etc. And that is how we have started. And definitely our goal is to diversify into more technologies. One of the things back then in 2009 was you might have heard about Java, right? Of course, Java is still there today also. Those times, Java was owned by Sun Microsystems, and later it was acquired by Oracle. Those times the famous thing was to get a certification. Some of you would have heard it, or some of you may be applying for such certifications now also. It used to be called as OCJP, right? Oracle Certified Java Programmer. There used to be something called OCWCD, right? It means Oracle Certified Web developer and things like that, right? So that is how we have started, and our that time even our courses were taken by students. They were from South Korea. So they used to come and take our courses. So that is why we have diversified from Emertxe or a Webstack Academy into the application training. Right? Then in the subsequent lines with respect to Oracle, we became their workforce development partner, what we call WDP. And we are, along with Java, that time if you remember, we had also the trainings that was required for Android application development. So we launched that training also. Okay. And then we thought, keeping the same brand name both for Emertxe and WSA, we want to give a separate identity where we wanted to do the application related trainings like web, mobile, etc. So that's when we have given a formal, name or a brand called Webstack Academy or WSA, and then they both become separate brands. So under Emertxe, we do the embedded systems or more the core job related courses, whereas under WSA we do the application related courses mainly on the full stack web development part, right? And then we launched it in 2017, and that's how we progressed, right? Initial 2-3 slides I'll talk a little bit about us, then definitely we'll dive into the details of the internship, right? Okay. So as an organization, what are we trying to do? We try to solve the employability problem for entry-level engineers by giving hands-on skills. So one of the key reasons why we launched this internship was also to give the hands-on skills, right? Because today, when you look at the engineering education, largely it is taught in a very theoretical fashion. Student by heart the questions and they get good grades. Whereas when it comes to applying those things in the real world, they face challenges. So that's what we do. And our courses are also taken by working professionals who wanted to transition from their existing domain to the new domain, or in case of the web application, right? Whomever is working the legacy technology or legacy stack, let's say PHP or .NET, etc. They want to come to the modern day web application. They want to take our courses, right? And third one, we offer this, courses for corporate organizations also in terms of upskilling and corporate, right? Where we deliver directly to the organizations who wanted to basically upgrade their skills of the team, to take a more complex assignment, etc. Okay. That's what we do as an organization. Okay. So we are part of the leadership team. Mr. Maz is the founder and the managing director. He heads the organization and he looks into the business side of things. And Mubin is my colleague. He's a technology head. He primarily designs the courses, content, curriculum, and the pedagogy, etc. Mubin looks into that. My name is Jayakumar. As I said, I look into the delivery, all the placement-oriented programs, internship programs, right? Everything, my team delivers. So I have a team of technical mentors, counselors, and placements team who are part of this particular, my team, right? And one particular clear-cut, announcement or the update that I wanted to give you is that, when we look at the internship, especially, which is there in the subsequent slides, but I thought, we'll, discuss this upfront, right? So when you talk about internships, it's very confusing term. Okay? When we say, for example, a student who are from a tier 1 institution, let us say an NIT or an IIT. So how does the internship work, right? The internship, primarily the organizations will go to the campuses, they hire the students, and they pay, not only a stipend, they make, they even pay a very good salary, and then they actually get them to work on their, internship, a summer internship or an extended internship, etc., where they work in a company for 3 months or 6 months, and they convert into something called PPO, right? Placement offer, and they kind of, get observed. So this is a typical model that happens for a tier 1 institutions like IITs and NITs, right? But when you come anything outside that, whenever somebody wanted to do internship, it is always a chicken or egg problem, right? So what the organization says, look, when I take you as an intern, and I know that you are going to be there with me for only, let's say, 3 months, right? And you are not coming up with the existing skill sets. So I need to train you. And what's the point, when I train you and then after 3 months, anyways, the internship is going to go, right? And you are going to go back to your college, right? So, and also they were also worried, right? If I'm going to train you, why should I pay you in terms of stipend or internship, right? So that is one problem from the company side. From the student side, what we see is that, sir, we genuinely wanted to learn. Yes, we understand that the tier 1 colleges, they have their own, opportunities, but we need opportunities where we can learn and build something, right? So that is how the motivation for our internship program, which means to say that in this internship program, it is a no-cost program. When I say no-cost program, neither you need to pay us anything, nor we will be paying any stipend. Okay, the objective of the internship is to do two things. One is like to build the skills, the hands-on skills, which the tier 1 college students learn on their own, or they have ecosystem to get those skills which you guys don't have. So our idea is to give you certain skilling and also make you work on the project, right? When you say skilling, it's not only know the skilling, right? You also need to apply the skills. So what we did is we flipped this model where we say we start the internship with a project, right? I hope the project name it is already known. Probably I can also share you the exact title of the project, where the mentors, our mentors will take the project, explain the project. And when you say project, the project typically follows through a software development life cycle, right? Requirement analysis, design, coding, etc. Right? So they will explain the requirements. And when you talk about the design or even implementation, that is where you require skills. So what our mentors will do is they will equip you with the necessary skills also and make you do the project. For example, they'll give a brief, overview about HTML or CSS or JavaScript, not a full-blown course, right? They will give you necessary skills so that you can start implementing on the project. Immediately you're able to apply. So by the end of the internship, what are we trying to achieve here? One, give the opportunities for students who are genuinely wanted to learn, right? Not only learn, also apply. So you'll be able to demonstrate the project by the end of the internship, which definitely will help you to enable further in your career. Okay, so this is what we are trying to do. There is no cost associated here. Neither you need to pay something nor we'll pay something. One. Second thing is, please note, okay, this particular internship doesn't come with any placements. Even though we do the placement oriented programs, right? Even for the full stack web developers course students, we give them placements. Kindly note that is a long-term program. That's a 6 months program where students take and then we support them with placements. The objective of internship is very different, right? It is our contribution to the industry, academia collaboration, and also want to enable the students who are interested to learn. Okay, so hope these points are clear. It will come in the subsequent slides. I saw some discussions about stipend, etc. I thought I'll clarify this upfront. Okay, so coming to our internship, it is nothing new. We have been giving internship, I would say, way back in 2016 or 17. I don't, sorry, 2020, 21, somewhere around 5 years back. And WSA ones also we've been doing for quite some number of years. So we have reached around 3,000 plus engineering colleges, and not only that, our internship is taken from students from 109 countries. Right, it's not only India, because students discover this via our online portals. They search of the internship and all. So 109 plus countries where we already students have taken this internship. Okay. And overall, we are given 80,000 plus internships, right? Overall. And interesting point is, as I said, it's not about, you are doing the skill building. It is important that you are able to build this particular, apply these skills and build something on your own, right? In that regard, you'll be writing around 1,000 lines of code as a part of this project, right? Imagine, right? By the end of the internship, you're able to showcase 1,000 lines of code, and that does a lot of things to your confidence, right? Because generally what we do is that we are scared and think that whether will it work out, or is it for me, or what if I fail, right? Do I get a proper mentoring and all, right? But at the end of that, and in the web application or a full stack internship, right, we'll be able to write around 1,000 lines of code. So this is what we'll be doing as a part of the internship. Okay. And before we get into this internship, let us spend some time, because hope this is an introduction. Hope you got an idea about why we are doing this, who we are, and we've been doing this for the overall we are a 20+-year-old company. We've been running these internships for more than 5 years now. Okay. So before I get into the internship part, to get all of us in the same page, let us throw some light into web applications, right? Slightly more on the technical side of things now, right? So what is a web application? As you all know, it's an application which you develop for certain requirements, right? Which runs as a part of a particular server. And how do you access the application? You open your URL, your browser, and then you type your URL. Or in case of a mobile app, you open an app. Basically, the application becomes the same application can be called as a mobile application also. Right? Here we are talking about the web application where you typically run from a browser. Okay, so whenever we talk about the web application, right, at a very high level, when you look at, right, it can be divided into two major components at a high level. We'll again these two pieces later will become four. You'll see that. So one is front end. So when you say front end, what you see as a user, right? You open a browser and you type an URL, right, www.xyz.com, and then what comes in the browser is nothing but your front end. Okay, and when you're talking about the front end, no matter what is there in the back end, right? No matter what is there in the backend, which server is running, whether it's a Linux server or any other operating system server, whereas as a user, right, you are seeing everything within a browser. So when you see things in a browser, all the browsers today has been standardized, be it Chrome or Firefox, right, or Opera, any other application, any other browser you take, that browser is nothing but a front end, or you can also say it is a client which actually interprets the data that is got from the server, and it displays in such a way that you as a user can view it, right? So that means say what the front end technologies need to be standardized. So today the front end is largely driven by three technologies, only three technologies. One is HTML, as you all know. HTML is nothing but the building block of the website, or the all the elements of the website, where, which, and things like that. Whether you put a box, whether you put a circle, whether you put a table, etc. Right? And CSS, the cascading style sheets, which is nothing but giving the look and feel of it. You want to put a red color, some blinking, etc. The special effects comes because of the CSS. And these two things, when I started way back, in the early 2000, the websites were largely built with HTML and CSS, because primarily the users were coming to the web application to consume the data, right? Whenever you are opening, you're just consuming, you're reading an article, right? You are basically consuming some news, etc. But later what happened, it is not only the user is consuming the data, he also want to interact with the website. Maybe, for example, if you're running a small business, right? You're running a food business, for example, right? Along with listing an application, right? You also want to integrate let's say a purchase button, buy now, right? Or you are running a, let's say, a chartered accountant, right? A website, and then you have contact me, right? So whenever you go, what happens? Whenever you press a contact me, a form comes where you're filling in certain information and you say submit, right? So please note, when you're doing that, the user is generating the content and is submitting towards the server. So that is nothing but what the user is interacting with the website. So in order to build this interactivity in the website, especially web applications, especially in the front end, that is where the JavaScript has been coming into picture, right? So put together, CSS, HTML, and JavaScript very well form the front end technology. There is no new front end technology as such coming into picture. Of course, we have more of frameworks and libraries in form of Angular or React, etc. But at the end of the day, even when you write something in React or in or in Angular, in fact, in this internship we are going to learn about React. Ultimately, everything gets broken into HTML, CSS, and JavaScript only, which the browser can interpret and then it can execute. So this is nothing but the front end and why we use the front end. Okay. Whereas the picture changes when you move to the back end. So when you move to the back end, what happens, right? That is where when the request is sent to the backend, right? Suppose, as I said, no, I'm a chartered accountant. I put a contact us form, and then let's say you go and select, right? What's your name, your email ID, phone number, or even they give a drop down menu. So what services you're looking for, right? For example, when you click that, it may be like tax filing, financial advisory, or you can say organization compliance, right? Or GST related consultancy. Let's say you do that, right? And then they'll also give a text box. Type your query here, right? And say I'm so and so looking for a, let's say, personal tax filing, or I want to do my audit my finances, whatever it is. I fill it and then say I say submit. So once you do the submit, what happens? Basically, this request, whatever you are generating from the client side, that gets into the server side. So that is what is received by the backend. So backend is where the business logic lies. Because front end is what? Front end is more of a interfacing thing and then taking your input. It doesn't do much of the processing. It doesn't have a logic to do that, because that logical processing, or what you call business logic, requires a higher level of processing, higher end of database, etc. So that is where the backend server comes into picture, right? So it requires go to the server, and then what happens? The server interprets your submitted form, and it can give a message back to you saying that, okay, form submitted successfully, or something like that, right? That is where basically the backend replaces. So when it comes to the backend, unlike the front end, offers a different type of programming language options, as we saw in the front end, right? HTML, CSS, and JS are the major technologies that are used. In fact, HTML and CSS you cannot call as a programming language also. That's more of markup and the layout of that, or look and feel of it, right? Whereas JS is, if you ask me, the actual programming language which is used in the front end. But when you go to the back end, when you wanted to run a server, a business logic from the back end, that is where we have a lot of options. If you see the history of web development, right? It started with PHP, .NET, right? Then later it moved to Java. Then came a programming language called Ruby, Python, right? And then today we are talking about something called JavaScript, right? Today's in your internship, right? We are exposing you for a JavaScript based stack, which is also called as a MERN stack, right? So where the JavaScript not only runs in the front end, it also runs in the backend. Okay, but as far as you as a user is concerned, you don't need to bother, right? Because it's in the backend, right? As long as you type your form and you're getting a message saying that okay, your application or your form is getting submitted successfully, you're fine with that, right? The same way, the backend is where backend works, and many programming languages you can run as a part of the backend. We'll further break it down, but this is something if I need to explain to a entry-level engineer who doesn't know anything about the web application, this is how I will explain. Of course, we'll get into more details, because one thing that we do in the internship is that we don't, if you know something more, we are always glad, but we start everything from the scratch. So even if you don't know, you understand it easily, or if you already know something, this becomes just like a one more refresher kind of a session. Okay. So what happens as I see, what we see is as a user, then as I said, the front end cannot exist alone. When I submit something in my computer from a browser, it has to connect to the service backend, right? So when you talk about the backend, that is where the connectors comes into picture. So when you say connector, I need a pipe, right? Suppose in a tap I am opening, the water is coming, I need a pipe which connects to something, right? That pipe is nothing but your internet. So today internet is run using the TCP/IP based stack. Especially for the web applications, we use this application level protocol called hypertext transfer protocol, and to access the services right from the backend, use something called representational state transfer, or REST APIs, application programming interface, where you call the API from the front end to access the service from the backend. For example, right, whenever you submit a form, so what is the backend service you need to get is submit form. Maybe you call a function from the front end, so it got evoked in the backend, and the form submissions happens, right? That's what you call it as a REST. And then definitely backend is where the magic happens. And whenever the backend is working on, right, we spoke about you submit an inquiry form to an auditor, right? It's having a lot of information with this, right? For example, your name, email ID, right? Which services you're looking for, and what did you request for. This is basically a user generated data. So this data needs to be stored in a backend again. So backend becomes a real business logic server, and also the database. So database is where the warehouse where the data is getting stored. So what happens from the time you click a button, right? The request goes to the front end via the connector, right? Via the REST API call. Let's say submit form API. It goes to the backend. The backend will further validate certain things, and whatever the data it extracts, it stores in the database, right? And then it gives a response. In this process, in case there is an error, for example, they ask you to fill your name and email ID as a phone number as a mandatory. Suppose you not filled your email ID, for example, right? So what happens? The backend, when it validates the logic, right, it will find an error. So that time it may not store it in the database. It will not go to 4. Rather, it will give a reply as an error message saying that look, you're not filled in the username, or you did not fill in the email ID and things like that. Right? This can be given for various different applications. So for example, you are typing a username and password, right? And then let's say you've typed a password incorrectly, right? Whereas the backend has validated that, but it will by checking the database. If you logged in properly, it will load the actual home screen, or it will give an error message. Right? So this is how the high level, the flow, where all the 4 connectors, right, all the 4 blocks will come together and make this particular web application work. Okay, as I said, let me give a brief introduction. You can also consider today as a little bit of a technical, brush up. Okay, definitely I'll share about the internship. Right? It's anyways we're sharing. Right? I thought we'll do this technical part in the beginning. Okay. So we spoke about it. The front end pretty much consists of HTML, CSS, and JS, and HTTP, the REST API, and you'll also frequently come across this JSON data format. Earlier, you used to use something called XML, Extended Markup Language, for the data exchange. Nowadays, anyways, the JavaScript has introduced the object notation format. That's when they call it as a JavaScript object notation, or a JSON format, right? And then backend, it can run anything, PHP, Java, JavaScript. As I told you, since we are talking about the MERN stack, right? We will get an idea about what does it take to run something in the JavaScript in the backend. You will get an exposure. We're not giving you the entirely. That will be a very big internship, right? It go beyond a month's time, but you'll get an exposure about how to basically build an application and then integrate with the backend. Okay, that is what you'll be learning in the internship. Then comes to the database. Again, you have the what you call MySQL, which is more of a structured and a table-based database, and you can also say a little bit unstructured database, or you call it a tree-based database. You can also say MongoDB. Right? So these are the technologies. So if you see that, we spoke about 3 slides. The first slide where we categorized first front end and back end. Then second slide, we moved and say, no, it's not only 2 pieces, actually 4 pieces. The front end, connector, back end, database. Right? And in every category, what is the back, what is the technology that enables, right? Front end is more of a markup, look and feel and interactivity. That is where HTML, CSS, JavaScript comes into picture. To connect you with the backend, you have the HTTP as a protocol via our internet. REST is a way in which you invoke the services, and JavaScript object notation is the format in which you are sending the data. Right? In the backend comes the actual business logic. It can be coded in any programming language, PHP, Java, JavaScript, etc. Then finally, the data gets stored in the MySQL. Right? So this is how the web application or the technology which are getting enabled. So again, if you look at a web developer, probably I will discuss this slide and then pause for some time. Maybe we can do a few more questions before I proceed. Right? It has evolved over years, because I was talking about we getting started with Oracle certification and all those things. If you see, people used to call it as I'm a front end developer, I'm a back end developer, or I'm a database administrator, etc. Right? You have people who are in a vertical roles were there. Now, what has happened is, as companies have moved to more agile way of working, where the company need to release the, update the web applications very regularly from the, front end or the UI backend and database, right? The terminology of full stack web developers started coming, or what you call FSD, right? Okay. So the FSD should know the front end, back end, and the database, right? And it's one of the most sought after role in the industry. Any company that you go, right? Any small company, mid company, right? Full stack web developer is one of the most difficult role to hire. This is some of the statistics which I am showing, where the survey said, because it's like a, if you look at a cricketing terms, right? You can recruit a batsman or a bowler, but finding a wicket keeper is always challenging, or finding an all-rounder is always a challenge. So full stack web developer is like a cricket all-rounder who is able to do batting, bowling, and fielding, right? So that's the idea of web application, right? Okay. So that's what as an example. So full stack web developer can consider them into a general surgeon or a ninja who use a different war or what you call arms to basically deal with that. And then Ravindra Jadeja was all-rounder, a little old one. I guess he's retired nowadays. More all-rounders are emerging, right? Okay. So that's about the an introduction about the how the web applications are, and how the what are the bottom line technologies that are powering the powering these technologies, right? I'd like to pause here and check any questions related to that. Any questions so far? A lot of questions. So let me take few questions. So there'll be a lot of questions around the offer letters and LMS access, etc. Right? So my request is you guys can check out these things. Our team will be able to help you. I'll share you how how we will be able to support you. It will take a day or two to settle down. You can then reach out to our team. They will help you. Okay. Then even the what platform the classes will be on. The platform will be YouTube Live. You can use the same link every day and then take up the sessions. Kindly note, every day sessions will be held from 7. Every alternative day it will be held at 7 p.m. All our sessions are live. Okay. Sometimes we see, right, the reason why the online internships are not effective is because they give a recorded session. And when we give a pre-recorded session, what happens is there's no interaction happens. So initially, maybe 1 or 2 days, you're highly motivated, thinking that I'll do that, right? After that, you kind of, your motivation drops in, right? But, that's where, our thing comes into, example, right? Our things, right? Okay. All right. That's about the platform and making it live. Okay. Yeah. So other question is this legitimate for submit college internship certificate, mentioning internship as a resume as a part of experience too? Yes, very well. That's the whole idea. You should, you can very well submit to these things to your colleges, and good number of colleges recognize our certification, right? So in case your professor needs another email from us saying that so and so has done an internship, etc., we can give you that. So my request is utilize this. So it's not only about we just doing for the learning purpose. Please ensure you utilize for your college internship also, and definitely you should mention your resume, right? But kindly note, right, you attend and you build a project. That is very important. Often students get so excited, right? They forget to basically work on it. What I'm telling is, you can very well work on it for build that 1,000 lines of code. Okay, then only you should mention. Not tomorrow putting something that I did an internship. That way, see, right? Many students put a lot of things in the resume. I did that, I did this, right? But they will not have worked on it. So all I'm saying is you work on it and then you put it in your resume, then definitely it will add a lot of value to your resume. Right? Okay. That's okay. And if the training is recorded or live, I think it's all live. Okay. And after every day this live, whatever in YouTube live today, you can use the same link and then you can attend. And definitely after the day, automatically in our channel, the recorded version also will be available. You can go through that also. Okay. And duration of the internship, it is 1 month. I will share in the details in the subsequent slides. You can go through that. Okay. And I think I already clarified there is no stipend for this. The purpose is to make you guys get an exposure, get an appropriate skill set, and build a project. Make you demonstrate 1,000 lines of source code. So that is the idea of this particular internship. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that is like that. Is it a course or internship? Yeah, that's an interesting question, right? See, I think I already clarified how the tier 1 students work, right? So when it come to you people, right, you require both. So what we do is, ideally it's an internship where we make you work on the project, but we cannot just like that give you and then make it. I say, for example, whatever the use case that we give you, right, we cannot say come and say go and do it, right? That's not going to work. So this will be a combination of both skill building and project building. Or I would say first explain the project, go back and learn the skills that are required to do the project, and then go and implement the project. So it's a combination of project building and skill building. Okay. So coding language, as I said, it will be HTML, CSS, and React based, and we'll also be giving you a backend where you can integrate and test the functionality. Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of questions. I'm trying to answer that. Yeah, so convert to Python stack or Django, you can do that. See, that's what I was telling you, right? One of the beauty of the web technologies is that it is very versatile. Different kind of things are there where you can very well apply to any stack. But what I suggest is basically use it as a React, whatever we are teaching. Later you can convert if you want, right? But doesn't matter, okay, because front end anyway is going to remain the same. Yeah, so no need to pay anything, nothing, no need to pay any certificate. You do the project, then we will give the certificate. Okay. Again, lot of question about offer letter, LMS access, right? Stipend. I think I already clarified. Okay. I think okay. Every day, yeah, it's a YouTube live session, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So will there be any test? See, attendance thing and all we see from the YouTube live only. Okay. And what we see is, right, this is not something where we need to put so much of checks and balances to validate you. So we want people who are interested in learning, come and learn. Okay, this is only for those people, right? We cannot again keep an exam and other things. So that's not going to work anyways. Anyways, few thousands of students take that. Our idea is not to keep. Anyways, in the college you're writing so many exams. What's the point, right? Learn something practically. That's the whole idea of this internship, right? So don't bother about the. So what happens is, many questions I see, right? Okay, you don't apply your college parameters here, right? So what happens in the college, right? You apply for attendance, you apply for exams and all, right? But what is the outcome, right? For example, you did a course, multiple modules you written in your first year, second year, third year, right? When you meet people, they can't even write 10 lines of code. What's the point? Even if you're from a computer science background, right? I said, usko dur rakho, kick it off. Why you bother about attendance or exams, right? Learn the real thing. I would be very happy if the questions comes more like, sir, how many lines of code I'll be able to write, right? There is another question, what technology I will learn. This is for that purpose. Here also we put attendance, here also we put exam. What's the difference between your college and this internship, right? This internship is make you practically learn, right? Build something on your own, deploy it, feel happy that you've done something, you created something. And that kick is very different, I'll tell you guys, right? Rather than, exam mein ratta maar ke padho, right? One day before you learn things and go on. That's not, that anyways you've done, what's the point? You've done for 40 papers, 50 papers in your engineering, you always do, 4 years, right? So don't compare. Don't compare and apply the same thing to here. Here the methodology and approach is very different. Okay. Okay. So I think good amount of questions have been covered. Okay. I'll go back to my slide. I will answer some more, slides. and let us try to answer as much as possible. Okay. So I think a lot of questions running. Okay. As I said, it's a challenge in YouTube live. Let me see. Let me go back to my screen, share it again. We'll come to that. A lot of questions about timing, etc. We'll answer. Don't worry. Okay. Go back to the slide. Okay. So if you saw that, basically the full stack developer comparison, right? So why, as we have been seeing, right, why the full stack web developer is more sought after? So one main important thing is website have become data driven. Okay. As much as you are downloading, you're uploading, right? An application, right? Today, even if you look at a Emertxe learning management system, as much as you are going to learn, you're also going to upload or submit your project, etc. Right? It's become data driven. And very important thing, often we forget that every time I interact with a junior engineer or a web developer, this is what I tell guys. It's not only about functionality. People ask me, sir, why WhatsApp become so famous? Is it something like nobody has invented a chat application from the mobile app? No, there are tons of tons of applications which came before WhatsApp. So WhatsApp, what made, I would say, they made it very simple and easy. For example, when you install an app, you don't need to create again a login or a password, right? With your phone number itself, they made it, right? Another one of the most important thing about WhatsApp is what scalable. Imagine how many billions of people are getting exchanging messages as we speak, right? Okay. Or take an example of again, WhatsApp can still say it's a mobile application. Think about YouTube Live. How many people are now basically sending messages, and how many people will be hosting similar YouTube Live on the same time which you are doing, right? Billions of users, I would even say millions, right? Billions of users are using at the same time. So your web application not only take care of the functionality, you should also take care of the scalability, and these days I would also add security. Right? Today we talk about cyber security, right? There is nothing desktop these days. Everything is in cloud, or everything is in maybe in a Google Drive or anything like that, right? So it's not only scalable, it also should be secure, right? And who is going to make this happen? Full stack developers only, right? Okay. And then, as I said, one of the reasons why the front end, back end database skills have been expected, because you want to give faster releases to customers, right? Gone are the days where if you took at mobile phones, right? Sometimes you see, you say so many upgrades. I'm just giving an analogy, right? But if you look at the web applications, also when you browse the website, next time something changes. So why? You want to give more experience to the customers when they come to your website. So that's a faster release to the customers, right? And then definitely the user experience, right? How do you do a look and feel, and how your screen looks in your desktop versus laptop versus a tablet computer, right? So all those things, to make it happen, full stack web developer plays a very important role. Okay. So we talk about, as I said, the MERN stack. MERN stack is a short form for an acronym for MongoDB, ExpressJS, Node.js, and React. Right? MongoDB, and you all know, it's a database in the backend, and Express and Node are the ones which are running the JavaScript in the backend. Right? We spoke about JavaScript in the front end, right? So the MERN stack is attempting to run the JavaScript in the backend, similar to your Java or Python. That is where the JavaScript everywhere concept come into picture, right? So React is a library which will help you to build a rich front end applications, right? Then these connectors remain the same, and in the back end, you can see, right, Node.js and Express.js. Basically, Node.js is a language in which you code, whereas when you wanted to expose to the front end in form of REST APIs, etc., Express is a framework which will help you to expose it as APIs. And finally, MongoDB is the database, right? Okay, hope you saw, right, the first front end, back end, right, full stack, the all rounders example. It kindly note, right, I'm going in a sequence. I'm not making you confused or something like that. It's going in a step-by-step process, so that by the end of this session, you have a clear picture of what these web applications, how they're getting built, and what you can expect in the internship, right? Okay. Now we covered two portions so far. One is the introduction to us, why we are giving this, why it is free, right? I will not get any stipend, right, etc., etc. What will we be able to get? We saw the introduction. Then second step, we went into the little bit of deep dive into the web applications, how they are getting built, and what are the technologies that are powering here and things like that. Now the main thing is about the internship. So how the internship is going to get executed, let us see that. So definitely after this we can do some more questions, right? So first of all, why this internship? And that too in India, if you go and tell something for free, right? Anytime you hear for free, one is like two things come into mind, or anybody tells me something is free, right? Two things comes into mind. One is like, oh, you feel good because we are used to getting free things, right? Oh, muft mein mil raha, right? One thing. Second immediate thing comes in, hey, is there any catch? Right? If you say free and later you do something dot dot dot, right? Whatever dot 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 it can be, right? So why we have decided to do it for free and why we are doing this? Because kindly note, we are not paying anything, you are not paying us anything, right? But still we are doing it, right? Why we are doing this? What is our vision, right? One is like we have been doing it, this internship even before when we launched it in the online space, right? Then today, if you look at ACTE or any other universities, right? We look at, in Karnataka, we have VTU, right? And sometime back in Maharashtra, the universities out there, they're also basically pushing students, saying that okay, go out, go beyond your classrooms. Either you go and do a full-time internship for 6 months, or you do some internship and come back and then give me submit the certificate so that I can integrate, right? So gain some practical skills. That's the idea of internship, right? And then we have been getting requests from colleges saying that can you do something for our students, like etc., etc. And what we thought was, again, definitely international students, right? What we thought, right, we should be doing in a scalable manner. We cannot go and do it, in every college I need to run, we can give an instructor. And kindly note, right, it's a free program, right? Okay, we also need to be considerate of how much effort we can give it for, because we have thousands of students who are doing our full-time paid placement-oriented course also, right? But having said that, we need to contribute. Okay, so that is when thankfully, the digital platforms that we are using, right, in terms of whether any kind of a YouTube or anything, right, it gives you a scalable approach. Today, when I'm sitting in Bangalore and doing this internship kickoff, you're all sitting in various parts of the country, or some of you sitting outside, India also. Right? So that is why we started. What we wanted to do, we want the students to get an idea of what does it take to build a project, right? In order to build the project, what are the skill set I should acquire myself, and how to apply the skill set. Because as I told, you study 40 subjects, 50 subjects as a part of your engineering. And I know recently I learned, right, these things I'm all learning when I interact with the students, saying that hey, you know what, I study one day before the exam and then I clear it, right? Or I was saying in a joking manner in the recent student interaction here, right? I said, yeah, 4 years of engineering, right? Let's say you are studying for 40 subjects, right? 40 subjects you study 40 days, because one subject one day only you prepare, right? That means, say what, overall in the engineering you studied for 40 days, right? Okay, so if you divide it into working days, right, in a 4 years of engineering, how many days you studied? You studied for 2 months. I said, how this how this equation makes justice? I know I'll also looking forward for your comments, about this particular thing, right? By studying for 2 months effectively in your 4 year period, how can you expect something big? Right? Or often we wonder, right? For example, why these companies are offering so many high salary to the IIT people, etc. Right? Because we also interact with IIT people. That their world is very different. They slog it out. They don't have life. All the 4 years they slog it out. That is why by the end of the 4 years they have something really solid to show. And we looked into the tier 2, tier 3 colleges. It is not that, yes, they have given a JE, they have done better, but that doesn't mean that you are less capable, right? What is gap with you people? Your gap is, your challenge is you're not, being given the right set of guidance, right set of mentorship, right set of exposure. See, hey, this is how we are going to build. So that is why we are doing that. Okay. And last line, more important, right? Unlike in the Indian scenario, right? There is no agenda here. It's absolutely free and with a quality outcome. In fact, many of the international students who take our internship, right, they even come and ask, how come we are giving something of so much high quality with a no price? And I even have mails of exchanging with the students and things like that, right? So, but as I said, this is a part of our vision, because we want to contribute, we want to enable our students. So that's the idea. Okay, this is for people who wanted to learn, who want to build a career in this particular domain. Okay. And what are all the benefits? So MERN Stack, specifically, if you look at, right, all the modern day web applications, be it Netflix, be it LinkedIn, right, be it even WhatsApp, it is all written with the help of a MERN Stack one. So that way you're not only talking about the legacy companies. Whenever you want to build a career in the new age product companies, you will basically able to build it here and build on real projects. See, this is what I tell my students, saying that hey guys, go and tell me, sir, I know this, I know that. I know HTML, sir. I studied, and then in your resumes, I see, right, basics, right? something Java bracket you write basics. Right? That means what you have very primitive knowledge. With that kind of knowledge, right, you cannot go far. And especially we are talking in a scenario where the technology world is changing very fast, right? And already we are seeing, right, the engineering jobs, right, it's already under threat. Where are the days where the services companies, need to hire in, thousands? They're not even hiring, be it Infosys, any of the bigger places. Yes, they're hiring, maybe in some small pockets. Today, whatever you say, Java basics, I don't need you, I will open a cloud work and do it, right? It will generate the code. In that case, where is your difference is going to come in, right? So your difference is demonstrating the depth, understanding the customer requirement, right? Breaking into design elements, and then testing the non-functionality. For example, your cloud cannot think about building a user application which can scale for 1,000,000 people. It doesn't have a testing infrastructure. So testing for scalability, right? Cyber security, right? And then ensuring that the application really works in the production, or something going wrong in the production, how well you are able to rebuild and redeploy, right? So that is what this particular internship will give you a first step towards that. Even though I spoke so many other things, right, this is a first step towards it, because I see students living in a paradise. Okay, कुछ तो करेंगे, कहीं पे लग जाएगा, right? I'll do something, right? Gone are the days. Nowadays companies are expecting real hands-on skills, and the situation is not changing at the ground level. Jobs are there for entry-level engineers, yes. As the jobs are reduced, yes. Is the AI is taking over the entry-level jobs, yes. Then who are the guys who are getting jobs at the entry level, right? It is people with the necessary depth skills, right? So what our attempt from this particular internship is to enable you to get started with this particular development, right? That's what we are going to do. And create an online portfolio and impressive resume. You will learn how to do that. Somebody asked, sir, can I put it in a resume? Yes, please do so. And certificate as a social proof. We see whenever somebody completes a project, we'll give a certificate. Okay, again, no charge, nothing. You submit the project, we'll give you, and then you can go and publish in your LinkedIn. Many students keep tagging me. Today also I saw 4-5 students tagged me, right? Do that. Okay, tag WSA, tag us. By utilizing our name, you get social media mileage. Get it now. We are here to encourage you that one, right? On a positive manner, right? Not on a negative sense, right? Do that. So timing every day, timing for the internship is 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. 1.5 hours IST. I put IST because many students will come from outside India also. Today, I don't think we need till 8:30, but after, maybe we'll finish it in another 10 minutes. But I'm telling you, in general, our sessions are from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. using the same YouTube channel, right? My request is, please, subscribe to our channel so that you get the notifications also, and then you can attend these live sessions on a daily basis. Please do subscribe. Okay. So it will be for 30 days duration. Okay. 15 live sessions. As I said, alternative days sessions will be there for 1.5 hours, right? And then 15 implementation days. That means what? The mentor will cover something, right? Today is a kickoff. Tomorrow the session will start, right? Tomorrow you do the session, and then they'll give some work. So you can try that and then come back after day after tomorrow, and then they'll give you something like that. The session goes. Okay. All sessions will be planned via YouTube Live, as I already told. Okay. And kindly note, we also give you a free LMS access. LMS is nothing but the learning management system, where you'll be given an access. In case you not got an access, or the password went into some folders, etc., etc., we will see how to seek support. So please, or even later when you are starting building the projects, you are asking the questions, etc., you can post it in the forum. Our mentors will reply. Okay. How is it like structured? Every day is a live session. Every alternative day guided build along, because that means they will help you to build that, and then hands-on task will be given so that you can prepare. That's why I told, right? It's a project-based work, but you need to build a skill also, because without skills you cannot build a project, right? Okay, that's the whole idea. So you can also pair with your friends, encourage each other. We do that. Okay. And then weekly we'll be evaluating you in a quiz also. We'll be giving you some quizzes that will be also be floated via the LMS. You can take it quiz, right? And then we'll evaluate you, and then depending on that, we'll be giving you the certificate. Okay. So some FAQs. Okay. Will you give placements after this internship? No, I think I already clarified. That is mainly for our full term 6 months placement oriented program students only, because 1 month we cannot make a job ready. Kindly note this. This internship is not to make you job ready. This is to make you learn and get started in this journey. Okay. What I'm telling is I am pushing our placement students to write 20,000 lines of code. And you are talking about 1,000 lines of code and internship. The gap is too big, guys. Right? So no, there's no there's no placement support here. What resources we'll be giving you? We'll be giving you the LMS and Google Forum. Telegram we used to do, then we have discontinued. Primarily, we'll also add you to the Google groups. Right? LMS is the primary way you can interact with our mentors. Right? Will I get certificate just because I selected? No. So please work on the quizzes. Please submit the project. Then we'll give you. Okay. Can I submit this internship to college? Yes. Strongly encouraged. Feel free to submit to the college. Submit in your social media. Popularize. Some students I'm seeing these days they're making wonderful pictures with the help of ChatGPT about their internship. Right. Some of them are even making wonderful videos. Right. Then they're publishing in the YouTube, giving that video in the LinkedIn. Right. So whatever mileage you can get it up, please feel free. But as I said, work then glory. Don't only go for glory or just be wanted to publish in the social media. Don't do that. Do the work, then publish. Then it makes a lot of sense. I'm having clash with my college timing. Can I attend in some other time? No, the timings are fixed. In case if you're not able to attend, the reason why we kept it at 7 p.m. itself to consider your class timings, your college class timings, right? Sir, my mid-semester came, a semester exam is coming, etc., etc. We cannot keep on changing our time. It will remain the same. Having said that, as I told, since we are doing it as a YouTube live, the session will be available in our channel. That's why I already told you to subscribe to our channel so that in case you miss some portion of the session or someday you miss, right? Or you are coding, you forgot what the mentor has mentioned. You can go back, play the video, learn, and then proceed. Okay. Okay. Yes, the recorded session will come via the YouTube live. Okay. Will you get internship offer letter? Yes. And kindly note in the internship offer letter, if there is a small mistake in your spelling, the college name got missed, don't get too much fret about it. Leave it. Whatever is the internship offer, anyways, that we are giving you just to give you an acknowledgement that you are part of that. But what matters is the certificate. Whatever corrections you need, you will come to us later. In the certificate, we'll correct it because we can't correct the offer letter. Right? Again, it will be too much effort for our team. Right? In case there are any mistakes, just keep it. Don't bother. In the certificate time, you can come back. We can correct it. Okay. Will I get internship completion certificate? Yes. You do get. Okay. And please, take a note of this screen. Okay. LMS forum where you can get related to the technical and project related doubts. You can post in the forum. Our mentors will support you. And and some students, what we saw in the recent time was in the LMS forum they create a discussion thread and have all the students put their phone number and they create a WhatsApp group. You can do that, no problem. Okay. So email univ_manager@webstackacademy.com. Any certification inquiry can come there, and we'll automatically be adding to the Google group. Okay, so you get the notification and certain updates. Okay. And these are all our social media handles: Webstack Academy, LinkedIn, and LinkedIn and Instagram. So along with the YouTube, it will be great if you can subscribe to these channels also. Okay. So that pretty much is what I wanted to cover. As I told, today is a kickoff meeting. We do it for an hour's time. I think we are right about the 1 hour mark. 7:57 my clock says. Yeah, maybe we'll take some more questions and then we'll wrap up for today. Let me check what questions have come. Yeah, project posting and everything via LMS. In case if you're not got LMS, just check it once again. If you still have an issue, send the mail, whatever the email ID I showed, right? univ_manager. Our team will correct you. Okay. Yeah, projects for this cohort. I guess the project title is been already shared, but let me check once again and then dictate the exact term. Every internship there is a so it's called HomelyHub property booking platform using MERN Stack. So basically, right? What is that? What is that? Your no broker or 99 acres, right? Or any similar application will be there. No, basically real estate. I think last time our students built something called Foodie, like more of a food ordering app. Right? So internship to internship, we keep bringing in new use cases. So you're going to build a real estate, or a home, right, property booking platform, right, or a rental platform, whatever you can call, via MERN Stack. That is a project. Okay. Yeah, Google Groups also you'll be automatically added, no issues. Okay. So everything will be taught from the scratch, as I already told you today. Even if you saw my presentation, I start from the basic, then step by step we did. The same approach will be taken. Okay. It will be both a combination of skill set and the project building. Okay. How many days per week? I think I already clarified. Okay. I'm a cyber security student. Today I learned this. Yes. Again, see what happened. I was telling to my, some of my family members I was talking to. This computer science has, if you come to Bangalore, I don't know where you guys are from, probably will take a location survey after this, right? If you come to Bangalore, people in Bangalore, you may know what I'm talking about. Some of these, vehicles will be there, gadis, right? Moving vehicles, okay, where they'll say something called 99 varieties of dosa. 99 varieties of dosa, right? If you go and see what is there in the menu, right? 99 dosa will be there. Okay. So what is he changing? He's keeping the same basic dosa. He will add something and make it one variety. For example, put a carrot and say carrot dosa. Put beetroot, say beetroot dosa. Put onion, say onion dosa. Then he'll say, carrot and what do you call beetroot dosa, right? Carrot and onion dosa. Like that, he keep on making 99 varieties of combination, right? So the idea what I'm trying to say here is today computer science branches become like that. When I was graduating 25 years back, right, there's only one dosa called computer science. Right? Now when you look at it, right, you say, information science, information technology, cyber security, and my nephew, who is, I think, he's of your age, right? He joined and say, you know what, uncle, I've joined BTech in blockchain. I said, what the heck, man? Okay, how do you do? Then when it said, okay, send me the curriculum. Right? When I saw this, the story was similar to 99 varieties of dosa. Right? 95% of the curriculum is similar as a computer science. 5% they added something called blockchain for the namesake. So what has happened, the trend is that colleges wanted to get admissions. And today they know, right, if you look at, unfortunately, the branches like chemical engineering, right, the admissions are not happening. So they wanted to create more 99 varieties of dosa so that they can get more admissions in the computer science domain. Right? That's why it is. So cyber security, Bluetooth, blockchain, right, whatnot. It's again this, right, artificial intelligence in BTech, right, cyber, what is it, machine learning BTech, right, doesn't make any sense according to me, right? And if you call a guy, I'm telling you honestly, if you say, okay, can you write a 5 lines of JavaScript code, he doesn't know, or she doesn't know. Okay, so don't bother much if you're a cyber security or blockchain, right? That's why I want my nephew. Yeah, I am a computer science engineer. Don't come to me next time and say you are studying a blockchain BTech, right? I said, doing computer science BTech only. Right? So he understood what I spoke about. On a lighter note, I told him, same thing to you. Don't come with flashy names. And end of the day, we are trying to make dosa, right? We are trying to learn computer science. That is where the world is, moving. So let us all learn these important things, guys. Don't make it flashy. Flashy करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. Make it good quality. Learn the real things. Automatically, everything will come. Okay. All right. Hope you am getting a this thing, right? Login credentials, etc., etc. Yeah. Again, there's a question here. This is a type of question which I would like to answer. Is FSD still relevant in this AI-driven world? Why not? Right? Everywhere people are talking about AI. See what AI has done. Right? Two things it has done. For example, whatever is a mundane, repetitive things, it has made it irrelevant for the human being. One, a human being is not required. Your AI agent will take care of it. One. Second thing, what it has done is it has made the development process faster. Right? I met tons of people in the recent past ever since this AI story has started, and then they asked me, I asked them, what is it? Is it something like your jobs are going to go away? I said, yes, the jobs are slowed down. Okay? But rather, what we are doing is AI is enabling us to do more. Right? Whatever I used to take 5 days to do, now I'm doing it in 1 day. Right? So that doesn't mean that, for example, nobody tomorrow, because AI has come, what is, we talked about the FSD, right? Web application. Is it something like tomorrow you're going to stop using Swiggy? No, right? Stop using, let's say, a banking website? No, right? Okay. So FSD or any technology for that matter, right? Not only FSD, it could be, embedded systems, VLSI design, everywhere we go, right? AI has made things faster and easier. That doesn't mean that things are going to be, okay, today AI has come, everything I will build everything. No, even in fact, if you build also, AI does a lot of mistakes. And there is one more argument that is coming. In fact, that is what I am talking with some of the senior colleagues with whom we do the placement, etc. Last week, I was talking with one gentleman. He said, Jayakumar, you know what? No, I'm still validating whether AI is really helping my team, because let's say they attach to your Claude, Core or Claude Code, for example, right? They're writing the code using Claude. You also know, right? Tokens, right? Tokens is where you need to pay. So they're trying to see what is the return on investment, because for example, is it something like the Claude or AI does a coding, but eventually when you look at the cost, it shouldn't happen there, where I could have very well hired an engineer and done it, rather than relying on AI to do that. And AI can do mistakes also. So companies so far have not concretely established, saying that what, AI is helping me to really get rid of the human beings completely. No, trying to say, another gentleman I spoke, he was telling, right, my assignment is to see to it that using AI, right, can I reduce my spending by 25%? I used to spend 100 rupees. Now, with the Claude co-license and optimizing my human resources, right, can I do the same work in 75 rupees? That is a goal. One of the senior vice president in a popular company, he said me that. So things are like this. It's not like is it relevant? Is it relevant? Computer science will remain relevant for next 25 years. Right? People kept been telling stories. For example, in a funny way, when I started my engineering in '97, there's something called Y2K problem. When they said in the year 2000, the entire computers are going to go away because Y2K was there. In fact, when I asked that question to my senior in the first day in the college, right, he used to make fun of me entire for 3 years. He was in second year. I asked him, is it computers will go away after 2000, right? He said he still, when he was in final, he used to make fun of me. So things keep coming. Yes, the AI has been a tectonic shift it has brought in, right? But definitely, it is not that relevancy is questioned here. Yeah, hope I answered my questions. I'm sure this AI related question comes up in every webinar. Okay. Any other questions here? Yeah, I think there are a couple of questions here. Sir, I got two offer letter. Ayo, Vaishnavi. One IoT and one full stack, which so see, Vaishnavi, I tell one funny story. Don't get me wrong. I said any one is good, right? One company, one domain, one job, right? Or in a lighter note, I say one wife, right? One house, one car, one kid, always one is good. Right? On a lighter note, don't get me wrong, right? So I suggest, even if you enroll for both the internships, do one. Okay. I'm talking about something called, inch wide, mile deep, rather than going this much and then depth is lacking. Today in this world doesn't work, right? Rather, this much, but in depth. That is the important. So I suggest pick any one of you depending on your interest. Don't do both. I don't recommend that. So that's one of that. How to get on-site internship or placement in Emertxe Bangalore? Talk to our team. Leave us a message. We'll help you. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There's one more question. Why companies will even just a minute, care to hire us when they can build the website and applications by AI and good past engineer in that company? But still, you need engineers, right? So it's not that the engineering thing is completely drained out. They need to build new products. They need to maintain the existing products. Who's going to do that? Suppose I want to grow my business. Right? I want to grow my company. Right? I need people, right? Any company for that matter. Don't only talk about the web companies, right? Any company. Even if say some restaurant guy, you want to add, let's say he's sending you want to add a new food item called Chinese, right? You need to hire cooks. Same thing. Developers are in need. Full stack developers are on need, right? But as I said, right, they need people who can demonstrate the skill set in depth. They're not interested to hire anyone and everyone. That's the difference. Okay. We cannot leave everything to AI. That world has not yet come. Okay. All right, there's a lot of questions about password, username, internship letter, etc. Right? I think you can sort it out with our team. Okay. Right. Cool. So I think pretty much we answered. Yeah, one challenge in our YouTube live is a lot of questions. Okay. So thank you very much for joining today's webinar or introduction session, kickoff meeting, whatever you can call. So please log in tomorrow, same time. Our technical mentor will come and they will take you through the MERN Stack internship. Probably I think I may have one more webinar slightly later in the cycle to talk to you after a few more days. I think they'll schedule that. I'll come and meet you guys once again. Okay, probably that time we'll talk more on the career, because I'm seeing a lot of questions about career, AI and all, because that is not the idea of this particular thing. Today's thing is talk about the internship. Maybe you guys complete some more sessions. Maybe in the next webinar when I come again, that will also be same 7 p.m. only. We will go in detail about the career part of it. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for joining today. Have a good evening, and looking forward you guys learning a lot in this internship. Build a good project, represent in the resume. Okay. So thank you very much. Take care. Bye.